What's next? It's the question on everyone's mind. When is the snow going to stop falling?
From Cleveland to Akron, we have 3 News winter storm team coverage.
Stay inside. Stay inside. Don't be like us, unless you really need some food or something.
Live from WKYC Studios, this is What's Next.
By the way, don't try that stunt at home, not at all. Good evening, I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Laura Queso. The winter storm continues on tonight, and more closings, they are coming in for your Friday.
Those are scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Our crews are out in the snow as it keeps falling, giving us live updates on the conditions across Northeast Ohio.
Of course, we have team coverage for you, giving us a look at the roads and helping you plan ahead to what's to come once this snow stops. But that's also a question for the chief, right? So let's start with Betsy. Hello to you.
Well, we do have good news to report to everybody now. So we are starting to see the end is near. That is good, at least of the snow part of things. The snow is starting to taper off very slowly from west to east. That progression will take some time as we head through the night tonight, but really we are kind of on the backside of the storm now. The gusty wind is creating major blowing and drifting issues. This is the kind of main story going forward because this will basically keep the roads in pretty poor shape. The road crews will catch up as we go through the night. I do think tomorrow morning we will have some challenges on the roads, mostly because of the blowing and the drifting of the snow. But at the same time as the blowing and drifting is an issue, the temperatures are falling, and that means our wind chills are going to be down in the basement as we start the day tomorrow. Look at the radar. What a much better picture we're seeing now for the lakeshore areas and west of 71. Meanwhile, farther south, it is still coming down. Stark County, Tuscarawas, Carroll County, even into Holmes County, we are still getting not only snow, but this very stubborn sleet that keeps mixing in from time to time. As mentioned, west of 271 and 71 is starting to taper off. We still have a little bit of snow that's going on. But farther south, look, we are still dealing with this darn sleet. It just won't go away. I've been watching some of the chat with the National Weather Service, some of the emergency managers, first responders reporting in. It's snow. Nope, now it's back to the mix. Okay, now it's snow. Now it's back to the mix. Well, hopefully now Stark County, I think you should stay in the snow, and we'll really start to see the back edge of this sleet mix moving out over the next couple of hours. The wind, though, it is brutal out there. We have that wind coming out of the northeast, sustained 10 to 20. We're still getting gusts over 30 miles per hour, and it just whips this very light snow. The snow is very fine. It is like powder, and that wind just comes in and stirs it up. It immediately drops the visibility, and of course, everything is starting to drift up. Here's a look at your current temperatures and those wind chills. We have single-digit wind chills from now through the rest of the night, and the temperatures are going to continue to drop back into the teens. Roads, well, there's not a lot of people on the roads, so that's why we're starting to see green. It's not like all of a sudden we have dry pavement. It's actually because there's nobody on the roads, and this is a great thing. The big picture shows that our big wave that we were expecting and came through this afternoon is moving out, and we still have this snow to go through tomorrow. So we're going to detail that more for you coming up in just a few minutes, and we'll go more in depth on these wind chills that we're expecting around the area for tomorrow.
All right, Betsy, see you soon. Thank you. As we told you, we have crews all across the area helping us track weather conditions. From Mansfield to Beechwood to Cleveland, we have you covered. Let's start now in Fair Lawn with Will Ewick. Will, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning to you, Russ, and I can just say firsthand that I can confirm every single thing that Betsy just said. The wind chill, you can feel it, and boy, right here in Summit County, the snow, when it comes down, it's been snow, it goes back to these almost like ice pellets that really hit you, and it's all adding up. So this parking lot was plowed about 6 o'clock, so about 6 hours ago, and you could just see how much snow has come down since. Now, the problem, as we've mentioned, is underneath of it is these layers of ice, and that's what's making this driving conditions very, very poor down here in Summit and Stark County. They're under a level 2 snow emergency in Summit County. You look over here, this is 77 behind me, a very, very heavily driven part of the roadways here in Northeast Ohio. You could see one car going pretty slow. We did see a couple spinouts out there. You can't really see any lanes. Now, ODOT says they had about 46 at last check in Stark and Summit County out plowing, doing mostly that. Not a whole whole lot of salting because the snow keeps coming down. They want to try to get that taken care of. But right now, very dangerous conditions out here in Summit County. Let's get a look on how things are turning over in Mansfield. We'll send it down to John Henry.
Well, yeah, right now in Mansfield, we've actually seen in the last 2 hours that the snowfall is kind of slowing down, which is good, but the wind is really kicking up. Right there behind me, about a quarter of a mile away, that's Interstate 71. You don't see any cars in that right now. That's because we're currently in a level 3 here in Richland County and Ashland County to the east. As Betsy was saying a little bit earlier, there's a lot of snow that's pushing around right now due to the wind, so it's not easy to navigate around here. Good news is no power outages, though, currently in this area. Laura?
Right, John Henry reporting live for us tonight. Thank you so much. We appreciate you helping us out. Stay warm, all right? And speaking of driving conditions, they are a major concern as we look ahead to the morning commute for you. Here's a look at traffic cameras from across our area. And for a live look at road conditions to the east, we turn now to our very own Nick Camino. You're in a car, huh, Nick?
Good evening, Laura. Yes, we are. We are in a WKYC news vehicle. Our fine photographer, Dominic Ferranti, is at the wheel. We have a camera in the front passenger seat. I'm in the back seat, so there's no one's trying to take the camera and drive at the same time, just to clear that up. But yeah, we are in Aurora. And the driving conditions, because as Betsy said, there's nobody on the road, so it's fine. But you know, the weather and the wind, as we've been talking about, has really picked up. So the road conditions just are pretty bad. I mean, you should not be out on the roads right now. And that morning commute, as you mentioned, Laura, is going to get very interesting. So throughout the evening, we've been here. We went through Solon, we went through Twinsburg, and now we are into Aurora. And the conditions are still pretty bad. So I got to imagine that that morning commute will be interesting for some. And I would say give yourself a lot of extra time, guys.
Yeah, and it looks like you guys are driving slowly, so that's a good thing. Nick, you can do it all, my friend. Sports, weather. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Whatever you need, you got it.
Yes, ODOT and local crews are in for a long night clearing those roads. Our Lena Lai shows us how they're getting the job done.
Hi, Russ. We're here at I-77 and Route 82 in Brecksville, Broadview Heights. Behind me, the road's pretty quiet right now, but I tell you what, it has been an all-night long battle against this blowing and drifting snow. So ODOT's goal throughout this snowstorm has been to keep at least one passable lane on our major interstates, and that is what you'll find on I-77 around Wallings Road. On local roads, municipal plows are having to employ that staggered convoy approach in order to make a dent on the drifting snow on the roads. But in this weather, people are still getting the job done, whether it's plow companies who are thrilled after a slow start to the winter to the U.S. Postal Service. So this really is that whole motto of the Postal Service.
Rain, sleet, snow. Yes, level 3. We're out here for our customers, and we're making it.
And there you have it, private plow companies who have a long night ahead of them. But hey, they're pretty happy tonight. Who's happier than them? Well, maybe school kids who have a snow day tomorrow. Russ, back to you.
All right, Lena, thank you so much. Okay, how's that snow removal going in downtown Cleveland? Our Hunter Science, who's joining us from our station in Charlotte, is in downtown Cleveland tonight to tell us how it's going. Hey there, how are you?
Hey there, Russ. A bit chilly, to be honest, but we're doing good out here. The roads, not so much. You can see they are still snow covered. We actually just saw a person try to just speed on down here, and he was really getting those tires stuck. And possibly a reason why is because once he gets underneath the snow, it's pretty icy underneath. There is a sheet of ice under this snow, at least here on Euclid where we are. Plows haven't been seen here in at least 2 hours at this intersection of East 9th and Euclid, but earlier today, these roads have already proved a bit dangerous. We did have to see one person get towed away after he went up on the median. Thankfully, no injuries there. I do want to say, to help these plow drivers out and clear this snow, the parking ban for several streets here in Cleveland has been extended until 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. Now, back here live, we have seen quite the shenanigans, to be completely honest with you, Russ. We saw a snowboarder being pulled by a car. Of course, that is very dangerous. I had a doctor reach out to me on social media saying those are the types of people that end up in the operating room in the hospital. And then also, we did see some snowmobilers out here trying to have a good time, but there is a lot of snow on this ground. Of course, they're snowmobiling, but hopefully it can be cleared up by the morning time. We'll send it back to you.
Hunter, I'm guessing you don't see a lot of this in Charlotte, am I right?
You are correct. We have had snow for the past 3 weekends, but not like this.
All right, Hunter, go get warm. Once again, thanks for helping us out. We appreciate it. We are still seeing more closures planned for tomorrow, meaning today, this Friday, from schools to libraries. You can get the full list sent right to your phone by texting the word closings to 216-344-3300. Once again, 216-344-3300. A reminder, this is a text, not a phone call.
Well, the opening ceremony of the Beijing Olympics is literally hours away, but already Team USA has taken to the ice and slopes as they go for gold.
Liz McLaughlin has the latest from Beijing.
Russ and Laura, good evening to you from beautiful Beijing, the only city to ever host both a summer and a winter games. I'm out in front of the stadium where the opening ceremony will take place. It's called the Bird's Nest, and it's the same venue where the 2008 Summer Games opening ceremony was. This time around, of course, it'll be a lot colder, but I'm sporting one of the Team USA jackets. They'll be staying warm in these from Ralph Lauren. And even though there are no spectators, there will be a lot of fanfare still. Fireworks, a light show, and of course performers to really get that excitement going for the official start of the games. And the flag bearers, we've got curler John Schuster and speed skater Brittany Bowe that will be leading the U.S. delegation in. Now, Bowe is taking the place of Alana Myers-Taylor, a bobsledder who was given the honor of being the flag bearer, but unfortunately is in isolation right now because of a positive COVID-19 test. And even though we're not quite to that official start, that opening ceremony, competition is already underway. We saw the curling team, the mixed doubles American team, with a little bit of a rocky start, finishing 1-2 after 2 days of competition. We've got the men's figure skating team event happening. Nathan Chen, gold medal favorite, posting his personal best score in the short program. And women's hockey team will be one to watch this year, of course, again. And they started off strong with a dominating victory against Finland with a 5-2 win. And next, they'll be taking on Russia. That's Saturday morning in the States time. That's the latest in Beijing. Back to you guys.
So much going on, Liz. Thanks. And you can watch the opening ceremony live right here on WKYC at 6:30 in the morning, of course, right after Go. And our team will help you through this winter weather, too, before the 2022 opening ceremony begins.
Coming up on this broadcast, tracking your flights after a day full of cancellations, what travelers can expect in the days ahead.
Plus, your full weather coverage continues, the latest track, and when this could all come to an end.
What's Next is sponsored by the Calvetta Brothers Floor Show. It's time to fall in love again with your home.
Welcome back, and here's another look at downtown Cleveland tonight. Snow, it's still falling a bit. Just a reminder, you can track the city's snow plows with the new tracker. We have it up on your screen right now, and you can find that link also if you want it on WKYC.com.
Betsy Kling is hardcore when it comes to reporter involvement. She walked 5 blocks up to Euclid just to see how things are going.
And you were telling, Jason and myself that things are looking a little dicey on those roads, huh, during your walk?
Yeah, there's a lot of snow on the roads. And, downtown Cleveland, there's not anybody really coming into town to work or anything like that. So I think the crews are really kind of working on more of the main arteries that get into Cleveland. They're going to get it cleaned up. It's going to take some time to catch up. But, I think the big factoid for the city of Cleveland is there are 10,000 streets That's a lot of mileage to cover for these this little team of trucks, but they'll get her done. All right, so the snow is starting to taper off from west to east slowly as we go through the night. This is good news. So we're not going to add tons and tons of additional snow west of 71 or west of 271. The gusty wind, though, will mean more blowing and drifting snow. So even though we're not adding new snow, we still have a mess on our hands. The temperatures are going to be falling for tomorrow. We're going to stay in the teens all day, wind chills near zero. So there is a lot that is going on here in the area. There are still some tricky spots to talk about for the morning commute, and this is where the blowing and drifting comes in. So it is not like you can get up and expect that all the highways are going to be open and full, fully open, and the berms are back and nothing. This is a long process to get out of this, so a lot of tricky spots. Mostly cloudy, frigid conditions for the evening with the temperatures dropping back into those single digits. The storm updated impacts for you. Now this is for tomorrow. We're still going with a high impact on the roads. That blowing and drifting is going to do a number. Air impacts, they got to catch up a little bit, and I think the East Coast may start to deal with some of the delays and cancellations, so we could have some trickle-down effects from that. Obviously, school closings are going crazy, and you can see those at the bottom of your screen. Also, WKYC.com/closings. And power outages, now it looks like it's a lower chance for that to happen as the storm is kind of winding down. Look at how this storm stretches now from New England clear back down to the Gulf Coast. They've had tornadoes in Alabama today. Meanwhile, we have an ice storm in southern Ohio, back in the Ohio Valley. But you can see this dry air beginning to push in. I think we still have light snow in the forecast tonight and to start the day tomorrow, but improving conditions will continue. You can see how much the snow has backed off. So this is a big help for those road crews that are out working hard tonight. Farther south, though, this dark blue stripe, and you're probably going, wow, it must be snowing like crazy there. I have people who have been tweeting me, and thank you so much for all of this, and comments on Facebook, and keeping me up to date with what's going on. The radar can say one thing and ground truth can tell another story, or sometimes it can confirm it. And in this case, we are still getting that changeover with the sleet, the freezing rain, and the snow going on down in those areas. The visibilities are definitely coming up. That's an improving situation, but there's that little bit of that mix, and it's kind of coming and going at this point as we kind of ride the edge of a warm layer aloft that we've had problems with all day. The roads are slow, but there's not a lot of people on the roads right now. Tomorrow morning, it'll be different. Here's a look down in New Philadelphia, a very icy and snowy coating across most of that area, and now they have snow falling on top of that. Canton, just looking snowy at this point. You had that ice earlier, now we're adding that snow on top. Akron, we're starting to see some better visibilities, but the damage has been done with the snow that's on the ground. Valley View Bridge, it was slick today. We heard a lot of spin outs and problems on the bridge, which just scares the bejesus out of me. But, those spin outs on the bridge and whatnot, don't get in on that. You want to stay lots of distance. Ashtabula, we haven't forgotten about you. You guys have gotten hammered in this too, and it's not lake effect. How about that? Meanwhile, out in Lorraine, I don't know if this camera's going to load, so I'm going to skip it. We're going to keep on going. There is that back edge that I was mentioning, and you can see how this snow continues to slide to the northeast. Here's your National Designer hour-by-hour forecast. You see we get a nice break tonight, although we kind of get little surges of snow. And then tomorrow morning, we're still expecting to have some snow in the area. Look at these temperatures in the teens. Wind chills will be near zero. So that is going to be a frigid start to the day, but improving conditions in the afternoon and the evening, that is definitely some good stuff. Our storm totals haven't changed since we first put out our numbers, maybe just a little bit left or right, 7 or 12, but we have a high impact event that we have been through, and now things are going to get better. But tomorrow, the wind chills will not, and that's where Jason picks the story up.
Absolutely, Betsy. That wind drifting across the area, all of that snow is wrapping around the buildings, the poles, the sidewalks, the houses, everything that's happening here, because we still have wind gusts topping 30 miles per hour across the area. As this load pulls away from the area, we'll have that pressure gradient kind of loosen a little bit, and we'll see those winds come down. But for now, wind chills are in the single digits, as our chief was just saying. Feels like 5 degrees at Cuyahoga County Airport, 9 Worcester, 8 in Akron, Canton, 10 in Youngstown. So everything has been falling, the ice, the freezing rain, the snowfall, it is going to be encased in the Arctic air that is moving across northeast Ohio. As far as our wind speeds go, they're approaching near 10 to 20 miles per hour. Future wind gusts, as I said before, will begin to titrate down by Friday afternoon. We're still going to have that performing north wind. This is still going to lock in a lot of cold air across the region. So as far as wind chills, take a look at this. The next 12 hours, my friend, by 6 a.m. feels like 1 degree here in Cleveland, 3 to 4 to 5 around noon. So we're still going to be locked in. I've drawn this line on here. You can see where sort of this area is going to be moving on, at least this cold air is going to be moving on out. This is good news for us as we're heading into next week. We'll have all this Arctic air push out. We'll have a weak clipper system comes through on Monday night into Tuesday. This is a near miss for us, but by the end of the week, next week, we start to work in another system that we're going to be watching. So your Union Home Mortgage 7-day, good news for you here, okay? Take a look at this. Despite having very cold temperatures, by Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, even into Wednesday, we flirt, if not go right above the freezing mark, which is great news for us. By the end of the week, though, again, watching yet another system to come through. Much more to come after the commercial break.
Welcome back. This winter storm, of course, is impacting more than just roadways, but air travel as well. Almost all flights in and out of Cleveland today were canceled.
So what will this mean for travelers Friday and then into the weekend?
Our Carmen Blackwell is live at Cleveland Hopkins with the latest on this. Carmen, what can you tell us tonight?
Well, what I can tell you, Russ and Laura, is that we've got a board of arrivals here and then we've got a board of departures here. You'll notice a very similar theme. That's because there's a lot of red. That red is signifying tons, thousands, if you will, of cancellations. And that looks to be exactly the case for later on this morning into this weekend, at least until this weather really starts to let up. Now, the only people that are here with us at the airport, and this has been a similar theme for us all today, has been the cleaning crews that are here now wiping down the kiosks and the counters. That's just about it. Now, as far as travelers here on Friday, we did speak with the airport commissioner, and what he could tell us earlier tonight was that this is going to be up to the airlines whether or not these flights will leave out later on this morning leading into today. So they're playing it by ear. They obviously want to keep travelers both coming into Cleveland and out of Cleveland as safe as possible. So make sure that you're checking in on your flight to see if it is canceled, delayed, or if it's still going to be departing or arriving to Cleveland. Now, really quickly before we wrap up, there's snowplows that just arrived outside, and they're doing a fantastic job of making sure that the airport is cleared, which is great. The snow also really letting up here at the airport as well. So that's a little bit of good news to send back to you, Russ and Laura in the studio. Back to you.
Certainly encouraging. Also, Akron-Canton Airport, a lot of flights, most flights canceled there as well. All right, Carmen Blackwell at Hopkins, thank you. And we are coming right back. Stay with us. Let's take one last look at conditions across the area. If you were hoping we would say things are great, roads are clear, it's warm outside, all that, forget about it. It's not going on. Snow's still falling, roads still bad. Really be careful if you have to go out tomorrow, because that commute could be quite a doozy, as Betsy says.
That is right. And we will have you covered. Trust me, tomorrow morning we start at 4:30 on Go.
That is right. Have a great night. Be safe. We'll see you soon.